getting off to an earlier start here. Happens to be Saturday morning. We're going to work the way we did yesterday using discarded pieces of shopping cart, or shopping bags rather, as our paintbrush. We're going to work a little larger, 11 by 14 inch mixed media paper from Canson. This is a little lighter weight, 98 pounds. We're also going to start sketching out our second Keystone mural. So depending upon how things work out, you might get to see me start that. And tomorrow we might not do a live stream. We have a couple things going on, so we'll jump back into it as soon as we can. Still waiting for our home portrait to cure. We have our lemon water and our coffee. We're ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put you on tripod. So where was it going? So if you didn't see yesterday's open studio live stream, using these bags or the remnant pieces that I tear apart of old shopping bags as my brush, I like the effect so much. That's the effect we got. I'm going to go ahead and apply the same process to this larger format, see what happens. Sometimes these effects that we enjoy in a small format won't easily transfer to a larger format, but that's okay. All right. Zoom out a little bit so you can see. Oops, won't let me. Hold on 1 second. I'll do the trick. Nope, nope. There we go. All right, so I'm going to zoom. Maybe I won't. Maybe that's where we are. All right, I think what I'll do is I'll probably do most of the. Yeah, I'll apply the paint up here and I'll just flip it on there. That's what we'll do. Okay. Just so you can see a little bit more of the process if you're not sure what I'm doing. This is a relatively clean, discarded shopping bag, tearing off random pieces. I'm going to be using watercolor. Yesterday I started with warm and gradually went into some cooler colors, so you have a multicolor kind of effect. Today I'm going to stay in the cool blue range for no particular reason. Just want to. I don't normally make a lot of paintings that have that cooler temperature range, so it's something a little different. Paper towel. Hold on 1 second. There you go. I have a drip on there. That's okay. Okay. And what happens is this watercolor beads up into these random spots. Oops. Here comes the pitter patter of little feet. Hi, Holly. All right, hold on 1 second. Caught me mid. Okay. So that's that. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Similar. Excuse me. Approach here with a slightly darker shade of blue. It's kind of like a cerulean blue, almost. Oops. Just gonna get some paper towel. All right. We'll just keep going. And an even slightly darker blue. 3 pieces going at once here. And we have let's see, kind of like a purpley blue. How's that for a technical term? Dry this up so our colors don't get too muddy. One or more of my bluer colors. This is probably the most intense of them all. Might be close to phthalo blue. And what's interesting is this one doesn't, not only is it more intense, but it also doesn't beat up as much. So I wonder why that's the case, but it might just be less water or more water, who knows. All right. Oops. All right, we'll keep going. We'll do another few marks with that same color, just different shape. Different. I'm liking that. It's pretty good so far. Probably go into some greens. Yeah, and then I'll maybe wrap up with a splatter or two of a little bit more of an intense color, but some interesting shapes throughout. Inadvertently, kind of like an S. There's a little bit of a, or whatever. It's interesting. This looks like a rooster. There's probably other random shapes in there that I'm not noticing. Let's strip off some more of this. Some smaller pieces for the green. Just gonna rinse out my water real quick. I'm gonna let that kind of set up, that paint set up a little bit more because I like the intensity of that blue. Excuse me. And I wanted to show you real quick for my little celebration of 250, my second Keystone mural that I'm doing. There was an artist who had taken the time to design a concept. I'm gonna block out the name here. There we go. It's a young student. It's for Jackson Township here in Pennsylvania. And they created a great design. So we're going to try and honor that and also account for some of the reference photos that I took earlier in spring before the leaves started appearing. I'll take some more so I can incorporate some foliage, but we're gonna paint that as a mural. This is the oldest school in Jackson Township. I've seen different dates, but it's from the early 1800s. It might have been 1827 or 1817. It's called Jackson's Corners, and we're going to incorporate that scene into a pretty decent sized mural in the shape of a keystone. So that's the second one that I'm doing. First one I did was for Stroud Township, and I did more of a nature scene. So the opportunity to do an architectural related murals would be fun. We'll start that when we wrap this up here. I won't make much progress today, just going to lay in some of the initial design ideas. So stick around for that if you're interested. All right. Okay. All right, we're going to come in with some light colors again. We have this little light green. It's kind of like a chartreuse. This is the latest of the green colors that I have in my palette. Get a little bit more of that going. Okay, good. Now, gradually moving into darker, more intense greens. Oops. The sheet's not cooperating with me very well. That's okay. And just so we don't create mud, go ahead and lift up some of the excess moisture. There we go. Oops. probably gonna have to get a new bag. Maybe two. There you go. Oops. There we go. Now we move to our darkest green. All right. Like that, gives it a little bit of weight. I'm gonna get a paper towel here and just make our way around and remove some of the moisture after this has a moment here to soak into the paper. I'll take a couple drinks of my lemon water. You can see yesterday's piece, mostly warm colors with the exception of the cooler colors here. So there's some nice temperature contrast. A little less temperature contrast here so far, but pretty decent contrast between the darkest darks and the lightest lights. So even though this is kind of free form, stream of conscious, with very little to no control over what's happening with the application of the paint, because I'm using torn up shopping bags as my brush. There's still some decisions to be made. So where we're going to put the paint, what colors we're going to use, and I'm thinking maybe something to push the color contrast would be good here. Don't want to overdo it. A couple, maybe one spot of really warm, intense color. But let's let this develop a little bit more first before we decide that. All right. All right. Oops. One more spot here where there we go. Yeah, so we might experiment with some of the yellows and then maybe a punch of red someplace. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. We get the nice balance of colors on opposite end of the color wheel between the green and the red somewhere. But let me wash out my water because it's very green right now. And we will continue with this process. Okay, let's go with a little bit of my yellow. I'm going to go with my latest yellow. It's kind of like a lemon yellow. There's a little bit of green mixed in there, but that's okay. We'll go with a little bit more of our purple, purpley blue. Backtracking a little bit here. Just want to give a little bit more weight to that bottom left-hand corner. All right, let that soak in. And maybe let that stay dark. I won't lift any more of that up. All right. A couple of punches of equivalent of maybe like a cadmium red medium. Couple of random spots of that. Let's see, maybe there, there. Okay. Now, take my little liner brush and I'm going to go ahead and get some smaller splatters to complement these marks. Right now I'm starting with light blue. soak up some of the excess moisture. Okay. What I might do here, I might actually use my brush to increase the intensity of some of these red spots. Just a fair amount of water, and I'm using a darker red. And the same thing, and go with the yellow one more time. Make some splatters. There we go. Yeah, well, I think we've taken this about as far as we can today. When this dries, we could always reevaluate, and we could apply more layers of watercolor, acrylic, pen, pencil, what have you. But for today, we're going to leave it here, and we have a pretty nice piece, I think, that stands alone. Abstract, obviously. Makes absolutely no sense at all. There's no rhyme or reason. It's part of the beauty of this sort of exercise. You have no choice but to just let go. Oh, the illusion of control. Oops. All right, so appreciate you checking out this live stream. I'm going to go ahead and switch the view here in a moment, and we're going to take a couple sips of coffee and start working on my second Keystone mural here. This one will be for Jackson Township. So, but for now, this is mixed media. Well, it's watercolor essentially, mixed media in the sense that I used old pieces of old shopping bags as my brush most of the time. And we're going to switch the view here. Just going to draw some pencil lines to start here. Actually, you know what? I'll probably use my line charcoal. And I'm going to grab one more thing before we get started. I'm going to get a tape measure, but it's not available. Reference. Just to give you an idea of the dimensions here, this is at its widest point. Roughly 46 inches wide and about 40 inches tall. So decent sized mural panel. This is part of the broader effort to celebrate 250 years of the United States. 250 years of contributions to the United States from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Freehand this, we're not going to use a lot of tools to draw this, so, which may or may not be a mistake. I think I got this. All right. start painting this on probably a day or two from now. I just want to give myself a head start by having um, some guidelines in place to help me with the initial process of laying in colors with paint. Well, so a little bit longer. I'm using burnt vine or burnt willow vine charcoal. It's a nice light charcoal, which erases easily. Bigger shapes. So down. Just rough that in a little bit. Detail. Exaggerate the perspective here a little bit. a lot of connection. Maybe I should have done this with measurements. Who knows? That's one of the beauties of using this charcoal. It's very easy to erase. Vantage point works here. Trying to honor the original design of the artist that created this. Balance that against my own kind of sense of aesthetics. Drop that. There. Clean this up a little bit. Platform here will come out. Oops, jeez. Door. Over. There's some space on either side. This is a panel door, so we'll put indication. nice line. There's some rough guidelines. There's some gutters on here. Here. Window here. There we go. Actually, when I go over this in paint, I'll be covering these lines, so I'm not really concerned with total accuracy. I could even move the whole building if I want to. First schoolhouse in Jackson Township. Ah, there we go. Fix this. Suggestions of this. A little higher. Where the line connects, so but it is about midway. Halfway. Oops. I'll lock my wrist there. All right. I'm gonna have this selection of this. Clutter. So I'll come back to this in a couple days when I'm back in the studio. I'll be able to make some quick work of this. We'll correct anything that we need to correct. We'll have, suggestion of some trees. Tree line. Grass. Lettering. Which I might draw a little guideline for now. Freehand the lettering, but at the same time we want to make sure it's straight. So dimensions. Oops. Thinking probably 2.5 inches. crossing Jackson's Corner, 1827, although I'm not sure that's the actual date. I'll cross-reference that. I might increase the spacing there a little bit, but there you go. Have the design kind of laid in roughly. And there's some things to fix, but we'll get it done. Well, thanks for checking out my live. We did a lot today. Started out a mural. Did a little abstract painting. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Stay well. See you again next time. Probably in about 2 days.